Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today I am going to share a shocking story with you. The most outrageous incident probably of my life. The time that I was baited and pulled over by an unmarked police car on the German Autobahn, almost certainly illegally. Today I will share the video with you. You can see how events unfolded, including action from somebody who happened to be following with a camera rolling to see how this all unfolded. I was driving in my McLaren 650S Spider across Germany on the Autobahn with the Gumball 3000 when a set of events unraveled that I have never seen before and I think will never see again. Today I want to share this with you so you can see exactly what happened, because believe me, you're going to be in for a surprise about how this went down. This takes us back to May 2015, the Gumball 3000 from Stockholm to Las Vegas. I was driving in my McLaren 650S Spider in Mantis Green with the playing card livery design over the top, joined by a support car, the Bentley Continental GT Supersports. It was day 3 of the rally. We had already gone from Stockholm to Oslo to Copenhagen, but this was a long leg, Copenhagen to Amsterdam. We started with an early departure out of Copenhagen to catch the ferry from Rødby to Puttgarden in Germany, before continuing and around 7 hours into the journey on the A1 just to the southwest of Hamburg on the way towards Bremen, everything took place. Now I want to rewind back to Copenhagen to set the scene.
The rules have been set out. We've got some incredibly tight speed limits and sponsor stickers have to sort of be covered up, although I'm not quite sure how covered up they actually are. It's funny seeing the grid quite so empty. This is one of the few times because after finding out the instructions for today, we thought we would jump the gun a little bit and get on the move kind of an hour before everyone else, and you'll see why as the day progresses. We're going to get on our way now though.
After setting off, we were certainly not expecting the trouble that would lie ahead of us, a day of multiple pullovers on the way to the Netherlands. However, driving through Germany on a rally is something around which there are very strict rules, and the rally had been working in contact with authorities to set up a permissible way by which we could travel through the country. That takes us to where we regrouped after catching the ferry to set things up for the next stage of the adventure.
What's going to happen now is we're going to be driving in groups of 8 cars, and each group is going to be led by one of the support cars, the safety cars that have been arranged by the Team German World Champs, the guys with the 3 AMG GTSs. So we've got some pretty cool cars actually to lead that. We've got the S63 Coupe, we've got a G63, another AMG GTS, and right at the end, if I keep walking, we've got a CLK DTM, and those are obviously pretty rare, so those are quite cool cars. There are some very, very strict rules about what can and what can't be done, so it's all been done sort of in communication with the German authorities just to make sure everything's completely legitimately covered, so the stickers being covered up, groups departing with sort of specific time distances between them, following a set route, organised and scheduled stops. So we're just going to wait now for 8 cars to be here, another 4 cars, maths fail, and then we'll be driving down from Germany.
I was very proud of myself for managing to join the group with the CLK DTM to head through Germany, but it didn't take long until we found our first delay and checkpoint.
First problem, not unsurprisingly, we've been having loads of reports that part of the A1 Autobahn has been closed, and we've got to it and we're being filtered off the motorway. They're taking all 2 lanes of the motorway into the slip road, and we think there's going to be a police checkpoint just up ahead. Not sure what they're going to need, probably checking all of our documents. We are the front car, so we will be the first ones, unfortunately, to find out. Fingers crossed they don't get arrested for something, or I don't even know. There are a lot of police around here. More or less as expected then. Police check, we just had to hand over passports, driving license, insurance, car registration, get everything checked, make sure we're all okay. We've got our documents back, but we have to wait for some others to get theirs as well. Pretty much as expected, really.
All being well, we departed in our group along the set route with an imposed 130 km/h speed limit. Now, these sections of the German Autobahn are de-restricted, the famous de-restricted German Autobahn, where there is no posted speed limit. You can technically drive as fast as you would like, should of course it be safe to do so, but for the rally 130 had been agreed, so on we would go. But it was at this point when a follower would join our pack with a camera rolling behind that would film the most crazy of things happening in front. Here we are on board the camera car. My McLaren 650S Spider is right ahead, but spot over in the slip lane that grey 5 Series Touring. Rather than joining the middle lane, he proceeds to undertake the truck up the right hand side before moving across to the middle. At this point there are cars right in front of me, but he proceeds to squeeze into a gap that actually wasn't there. Fast forward and he's blasting past on the right hand side again, undertaking up towards tailgating the car in front, and then again squeezing back across to the left, right in front of this Maserati Gran Cabrio, into a space that, as you can see, was not there for the taking. And at this point we're very confused by what this aggressive driving is all about. Unfortunately, there are even more parts of this that aren't caught by the video due to the camera car being a little bit too far back, but as you can imagine, we're starting to get seriously annoyed by this 5 Series Touring. It's driving dangerously, it's super aggressive, and it makes no sense. Yes, when you're driving on a rally like the Gumball 3000, you have superfans that want to drive with your pack. That's completely normal, but this style of driving is just pushing it too far. It's too reckless. There was a moment when he had pulled in just in front of me, causing me to have to brake, and we're all wondering, what on earth is this? Well, we then enter a speed limited 120 km/h section. So parts of the Autobahn are de-restricted, some regions have a 130 limit, some 120, some parts 100, etc, etc. I then slow down, of course, I've got my cruise control on at 120. At this point, the same car that had just basically caused me to brake is then sitting in front on a completely empty stretch. There are no other cars in front of us. It moves to the left lane for no given reason, and then starts to slow down. Of course, I'm in the right lane on cruise control at 120, and that means that I obviously sail past on the right. I'm well aware of that at the time, and I'm thinking, who are these people? Why are they doing this? Maybe they just want to get some photos, but then this happened. I'm now wondering, is this even a real police officer? After what we have just witnessed, is it possible that a policeman could have done that? I am completely confused by everything I've just seen.
So why was he driving so aggressively? Do you think? He didn't speak.
No, but I wonder what that says.
Had he done anything douchebaggy before that?
Or maybe it was our undertaking.
I know he's going to do me for undertaking.
Yeah.
That's fine. But he did aggressively cut us up before that.
I'm sure he did. Unless it was a different one, but I'm pretty sure it's him.
That's so funny. But I can't tell him. Why were you driving badly? I'm following a police car who has put his police follow me light on. But is he actually police? Wouldn't he have to have blue lights?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But now what is he doing?
That's why does he want me to come with him?
I don't know. I think so. It was to let us.
Is he waving? He's not waving. I'm a little bit dubious just because I'm just so confused about what's going on. But I want to see that it is police, because a lot of times just wait and see that it is police first. Can you see a policeman? Can you see a policeman? Is he police?
No. Yes? No? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Now I'm starting to wonder, is this either a scam or a TV show? Are there hidden cameras somewhere that I don't quite understand? Because there's just no way that what I think is happening is actually happening. You don't know what to do in these kind of situations because it makes no sense. You're in a state of shock. The words that I actually said are quite funny to listen back to because I clearly just did not know what was going on. But take a listen to the second part anyway.
Hello.
Hello, police Germany, you speak German?
Sorry, no.
Only English?
Yes, if that's okay.
Switch off the engine. Good driving license, please?
Yeah. Oh.
Papers from the car?
Yeah.
You know what the problem was?
Yes, driving aggressively.
Wow. In Germany, on the road, Autobahn, it's forbidden to override at the right side.
Okay.
And that was your fault.
Okay.
Yeah. You override other vehicles on the right side.
Understood.
Und das.
Yeah, I understand.
Das nennen sie abkleben. Die Werbung.
That's actually a joke about not really covering the adverts, the stickers on the car. And to be fair, that's probably reasonable because the tape over the top was a little bit dubious. Nonetheless, that was by the organisation. We weren't directly in control of that.
The other from you are waiting in the front.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't. Well, we've finally been pulled over. Didn't really know what was going on. Totally by surprise. Completely undercover BMW 5 Series touring police car. Interestingly, we actually thought he was driving like a little bit of a aggressive before that even happened, which is kind of what takes me by surprise because we were basically sort of empty lane. They were sitting on the left, went round sort of the right. Wasn't speeding. Obviously that's illegal, but we sort of thought he was a fan trying to interact with the grid and cause trouble. So you win some, you lose some. Guess I got baited and got caught. Let's see what happens, see what the punishment is.
Okay, but
Hello.
in case that you are in our system, yes, I'm not fast. A good person. It will be only without that you have to pay any.
Fine.
Fine.
Fine is the word.
Drive careful.
The long story short at the end of the day is that there was no ticket, so there can be no complaint. Imagine had I been written a ticket. How fascinating would that appeal process have been, given that we had the video of what had been happening before. And remember, this was a while ago, so to have that even then was super unusual. To be able to see the provocation, because this was completely a case of being provoked into something. And arguably the crime, if you will, considering the exact circumstances, which like I say, unfortunately aren't actually on video, considering I was on cruise control at the speed limit with an empty road ahead, with the 5 Series moving to the left lane and slowing down, arguably that's not even fair in the first place. But that's one for another day. German lane discipline is absolutely up there. It's a very significant offence to pass on the right, especially considering the de-restricted sections and the speed at which some people are driving. That's one, I think, for another day. But in this particular circumstance, it was as if they had to get enough people that day. They had to prove that Gumball was a disaster and that it was going to be causing complete chaos, because we were following the rules. We set off early. We knew what the day had in store for us. We knew we wanted a gentle, easy drive across to Amsterdam, knowing we were going to be flying the next day over to the US for the second part of the rally. I wanted to take it easy. I knew I was making videos and that things would pop up on the internet of being pulled over, etc. as well. So just a case really, I guess, of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but perhaps also pulling over the wrong person, because I didn't really react up to it. Now, in the exact moment of being pulled over, I was so confused, and I thought I'd been pulled over for, as I said, aggressive driving, thinking that was from the moment when they pulled back in. Of course, the left lane was empty at that stage, and we were driving pretty slowly in a bit of traffic on the right lane. So when the 5 Series had pulled in front of me, I was like, not again, not doing this again, which is why I sat quite closely behind, which, by the way, is something I recommend you absolutely do not do, and something I'm much more vigilant with now myself. So I thought I had been pulled over for that, for sitting right behind them, until my co-driver pointed out afterwards that it was probably from when we passed on the right because of their slowdown, which unfortunately just wasn't on video. I wish it was, so you could see exactly that moment. Obviously, I remember it very well because of what was happening in the build-up and how we couldn't get our heads around this kind of driving prior to that point. It was all just so bizarre. Normally when you're pulled over, there's a justifiable reason for it, right? And in a country like Germany, you never expect this. And you can formulate your own opinion, as I said, about exactly what happened. I just wanted to share this story because it's something that's actually been bugging me for a very long time because of how bonkers it was to find myself in that position, and the complete circumstances, the chances that somebody had been following with a camera rolling who knew my social media pages and had sent it to me, and I had seen that. I remember sitting in San Francisco after we had landed from Amsterdam to Reno, Nevada. We had driven to San Francisco. I was sitting in San Francisco watching it thinking, there's no way that happened. There's no way that's exactly how that went down, but the video says otherwise. The video suggests that's exactly what happened. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it really, really... I mean, if I had been speeding, fair. If I had intentionally weaved at high speed, you know, cruising through traffic in a way that was totally inappropriate, again, totally fair. But we were trying to take it easy that day. We were trying to cruise, and I'm pretty sure this was just a case of having to get some numbers or something like that. Who really knows? In my opinion, that was not legal. That was completely, completely outrageous and shocking. The best two words for it. So thank you very much again to the person who provided me that video 7.5 years ago now. A much younger me that was of course taking part in the rally back then. I've done many more since and actually had completely uneventful rallies in terms of tickets and police encounters, thankfully. I try of course to go down that route, as you guys know from all of the videos that you see on my channel. But that's it for this time. I hope you've enjoyed this unusual story that I wanted to share with you, but I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!